Hello, everybody. You are watching Talking Ball with Jose and Call. How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone is having a wonderful, what day is it? Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday today. That is how you can tell I work from home and don't go into the office. I don't even know what day it is. But yes, hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. And still kind of basking in the glory of Spurs being the top of the table. Jose, my man, how are you doing today?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Another day ticked off, nearer to the weekend.
Boom. Hopefully work was great again, like it was yesterday. A nice, easy day.
Well, a bit harder today, but yeah, I've got football later, so I'm fine.
There you go. Exactly. You'll get your frustrations out there. Score a hat trick. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We'll expect to hear lots of details about the match. How about this though? How about you don't let the team?
Depends how my feet hold up.
Well, just don't let your team go down by halftime, and I think you guys have got the W. I think you'll grab the win as long as you don't go down.
I play with different players on a Monday, different players on a Wednesday, different players on a Friday. So it's different sides, different players.
That's awesome. That's cool. That kind of, but you always play kind of in that forward role, then, though, huh?
I started off playing centre half on Monday before I went up front in the second half. I started playing centre half. Started off playing centre half, went into up front, then dropped back again, and then went back up again. So it all depends. It all depends on what we need.
They just like to throw them a curveball. Yeah, exactly. You just like throw them a curveball too. They never know where to defend you.
All I hear is their forward who plays every Monday. He's like, "Watch out for Jose! He's sneaking behind you. Watch out for Jose! He's gone to the left. Watch out!" And then the defenders just say, "Can you stop moving?" And I said, "Well, if I stop moving, it's not worth me playing."
Exactly. Well, we're going to be excited. I think everybody in the chat is going to be excited to hear about your antics tomorrow. Take a lot of paracetamol for the feet. And, hopefully you'll be good. You got this, Jose. But speaking of got this, everybody in the chat seems to have got this too. I think some of them beat us here today at 9:37. Well, 3:37 your time. Adrian Soroka says, "Good afternoon, all." Good afternoon, Adrian. Hope you're well. Here's another name I haven't seen in a minute. Chris Agambar. What is up, Chris? Hope you are well. Hope you're keeping well. Hope everything is good in your hood, Mr. Agambar. And then we've got everybody showing each other love. Ellie's kind of giving us a little stick, saying, "We're late. Where are you?" Love it. And then we have Lee Smithy Smith, who says lateness is greatness. 100%. I agree with you completely, Smithy Smith. Hope you're well today. We've got some Eltel Cockerell guy. Who's that? Who knows who that is? I don't even know him. And then we've got Drula. Y'all call Jose and all in chat. And then Todd Spurs, the best moderator this side of the Mississippi. What is up, Todd Spurs? And the best score prediction guesser on the channel
right so now. Far. So
I think your feelings are hurt a little bit by that. You seem a little.
I'm saying so far. Todd Spurs was giving it out yesterday. No doubt he's going to give it out all day today until he gets knocked off his perch, which he may not. But until that happens, I think he's just going to keep giving it out. Drula, you're on a winner chicken dinner, as we say. If you keep saying this, y'all to Colin, you're on a winner chicken dinner.
I'll bump the points up. I've got access to the points. So, I give you some bonus points for that. But yeah, hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is doing good and still, like I am, basking in the glory of being top of the table. It's a good feeling. I don't know. Let me throw this up there. But yeah, Jose, now that you've had a 2 days to think about the match, and you've had some time to kind of let it digest, to kind of look at that. Top Spurs says early days. LOL. He gets it. Jose is coming for you, Tot Spurs. Just to let you know, he is coming. And everybody, we are talking, of course, about the prediction, the score prediction game that we're playing. We'll be playing again this Friday, so everybody stick around for that.
How many results was Tot Spurs off and Ange Postecoglou? because Ange Postecoglou's undefeated with 4 and 2 draws. But in order to do that, Spurs couldn't get any wrong at all. So he wasn't an Ange Postecoglou, but he wasn't far off.
No, he's only got 2 totally wrong. That's beautiful.
Got a couple of wins, few draws, and 2 losses. So he's not Ange Postecoglou, is he?
Not quite yet. Not quite. Speaking of Ange Postecoglou, I'm going to jump all around today. But did anybody expect him, even himself, to be top of the league at this juncture? I mean, I think he's got to have surprised even himself. But again,
the Postecoglou comes across as the type of guy, right, who don't want to lose a game. And if you do lose a game, there better be a damn good reason why you lost that game, right? Unlike the doom and gloom merchants in our fan base who were all saying, oh, we're going to get thumped, we're going to get smacked, we're going to lose a few massive games by huge cricket scores, we're going to get relegated because Kane's not there, we're going to lose 30 goals. All this crap I heard at the start of the season. There's not one bit of me that says, thinking about it now, which is not my thought process back then, because I never thought this would happen, but thinking about the question you asked me now, I don't think there was once that Postecoglou has ever thought to himself, do you know what? I'm surprised where we are. Why is he surprised? Because he knows he wants to go out and win every game. So that would have been his plan. For any club that he's gone to, that would have been his plan. If you lose, you lose. But that's not his plan. His plan is not to lose. So, you know, at the end of the day, people say, Celtic, the first 3 games, he lost 1. Or the first 4 games, he drew 1, lost 3, or lost 1, drew 3. But then after that, he went on this mad, long, unbeaten run. He doesn't go into any club thinking, I'm going to lose a game. So, at the end of the day, he might think to himself, I don't know whether we'd be top of the league by this stage, but I don't think he's gone into this thinking, you know, I expect to lose this game, I expect to lose that game. So,
yeah,
you know, but at the end of the day, people just need to jump on the bandwagon, man, and enjoy the ride. You know, we're somewhere we haven't been for years and years and years. Okay, we're not playing the champagne football that we started playing in the second season of Pochettino, and some champagne football that we did play under Redknapp, and champagne football that we possibly played underneath under Martin Yole as well. We haven't got to that stage yet. I mean, we're 9 games in. We're 9 games in, but we haven't played champagne football every game. We're 9 games in. We're grinding out the results that we're getting, albeit that we've got the possession in every game so far that we've played. I believe that we've had the majority of the possession. We've carved out the most chances out of any team, so we're carving out chances. We just need to go and embrace what is actually what's been in front of our eyes. Embrace it. Ride with it, because I certainly don't want to go back to the negative days, Carl.
No, and who knows how long it's going to last. And I mean, I think that's probably why everyone is worried and why everyone is hesitant to jump on the train. They don't want to be hurt. They don't want to get too invested and then have everything go bosoms up. I don't know what I can say. It's not quite 10 minutes in yet, but you know, they don't want everything to go bad and then feel bad. But if you can't enjoy it while we're here at the top, then you know when is the time? And when we talked about that, Drula said the negative Spurs fans, and I like how negative Spurs fans is all capitalized, like that's a group. I like that. And Drula also says we are winning though. 100%. Yeah. We are winning, and we continue to win even when it's not pretty. And isn't that what they've said for years and years about teams like, you know, Alex Ferguson's United and teams like that? They can win ugly. They can win, you know, the tough games without looking great. If they have a bad game, that doesn't necessarily mean they lose. And I think that we're starting to see some of that same resilience with the boys, with the old Spurs. And like you said,
there's winning ugly, right? When we had Conte, Mourinho, Nuno, the 1-0 victories, you were grinding, pulling teeth out. It was awful to watch. It was an awful watch. And it was negative football that got you a result, right? But it was really excruciating to watch. We're not playing champagne football at the moment. We're getting results. We're grinding results out, but not by playing boring. We're grinding results out because we haven't quite clicked into the gears that we need to get to. because we're only 9 games into a project. Postecoglou maintains this every game. He gets asked the same questions and he gives out the same answers. It's a process. He goes, we're not there yet. We still got loads of work to do before we can get to where we need to get to. So we're going to hear this. Whether we play and we dominate a team and beat them 5-0, or whether we dominate a team and find it a lot harder and only win 1-0. At the end of the day, it's a process that we're going through. But even the 1-0 victory, let's say we beat Liverpool 2-1. That was hard work. That's grafting. We beat Fulham the other day. We didn't come out of second gear. It's grafting. You know, we drew against Brentford 2-2. That was a graft as well. So at the end of the day, you've got to win all types of ways. But as long as it's not negative and boring. Oh, do you know what, Cole? What I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell the team to sit behind the halfway line in a massive group. And then what I want our fans to do is all get behind the sofa, cover their eyes, cross their fingers for luck, and just pray. No, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. We're playing front foot football, and it hasn't clicked into gear yet.
Which is wild to think about.
Yes.
I mean, if it hasn't yet clicked into gear, what are we going to see? I don't know. It's crazy for me that what we're seeing now is going to get better, and I mean, it obviously will. But it's pretty scary because I haven't really seen us go up against anybody who I think is just out and out better than us yet. And we haven't, like you said, we're 9 games in. We haven't even gotten, you know, what was the quote? The players believe in me, but they don't believe in themselves yet.
Correct,
I mean, once we get these players believing in themselves, line us up against anybody. Line us up against Barcelona. Line us up against Madrid. You know, I'd be excited to see how we fared against a team like that.
At the end of the day, last season we started off well, Cole. Sorry, I was looking at there's a program on Sky yesterday. It was Man City's title-winning team last year, and they were showing game by game, you know, snippets of the changing room and stuff like that, and snippets of who they were playing and where they were at, and they were also showing the league table after every game, and we were up there. We were up in the top 3 for the first 6 or 7 games of the season last season. I think we might have been third. I think we had 4 wins and 2 draws. We were unbeaten. We were third. And Arsenal and Man City were in front of us, right? But I can go back and think about them games, and I think to myself, it was grinding football. Yeah, we ground out results, but it was so negative. It was so static, our performances. We were so unpleasing on the eye, you know. And I'm looking at all this, and then I'm looking to where we are this season, and I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? I'd rather take the way that we're trying to play football this year over the crap that we were served up last year by the team. So, but that's given us more points than what it did last season, because from game 6 to game 11, we lost 3 games.
Yeah.
So from game week 7 to game week 11, we lost 3 games. So in 5 games, we lost 3 of them. So, you know, and at the end of the day, I think I look at the scores on the doors now, and I think we've got as many points now after 9 games than what I think we had after 11 last season.
Absolutely,
so we're ahead of ourselves, you know, and it's good that we need to look at this. It's good, it's positive. We need to get behind it, but we've got a fan base that are not ever pleased with everything, and they're always going to pick holes at things. And you know, at the end of the day, if our squad had been together for a season and this was their second season and these things were going on, I'd have to ask questions. But this is 9 games into a process, man. Why are we asking questions? Just enjoy where we are. Enjoy what we're doing.
And when you say ask questions, forgive me for maybe sounded stupid, but you mean like ask questions about why like X, Y, and Z is happening, like why Richarlison, you know, is
why are you playing inverted wingers? Why are you not playing inverted wingers? Why are you playing this person in that position? Why aren't you playing that person in that position? Why can't you see that this is happening? Can't you see? It's all these things. If this was if we'd had a season in, right, and you know, you give the manager a chance to do wheeling and dealing, bring who he wants in, start shaping his squad, then I think you're entitled to start asking questions, especially if you're doing badly. But when you're only 9 games into a process, if this was the second season now and we were where we are now, you could probably nitpick at a couple of things, but you take it where we are now.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. One thing I wanted to throw up, Drula had a good comment here. He says that Madison has said that Ange has instilled that in them, that from the first whistle to the last, we press regardless of score. I also saw something akin to that where it was whenever he was training. It was during a Celtic training session. But he said something like, we won't give them a chance to rest. When we have a throw in, we take the throw in immediately. When we have a free kick, we take the free kick immediately. We don't want to give them little pockets of the match to take to rest, to get their breath. We want to, be running and running. And that's Pochettino-esque to me, the being the fitter team. I don't know. You said that we haven't quite been playing the champagne football that we've played under some previous managers, and I buy it. I believe that, but I do think that.
But remember, I said Pochettino's second season. So in his first season, he was molding. Yeah. He was shipping out what he didn't want. He was molding. He was getting in, and he was forming a side. In his second season, that's when we saw, from that season onwards, for about 3 seasons, we saw our champagne football. We saw us going to teams, playing the same way we did at home, the same way we did away. We played exactly the same system, same style of football. So we didn't change because we were away from home. We attacked teams. We played champagne football. And we were a joy to watch. Everybody wanted to watch Tottenham then, right? We haven't got to that stage yet. We're not playing champagne football because the players haven't still are learning from each other and stuff like that. Therefore, what I'm saying is in the second season, you can then start questioning when you give the manager another transfer window in December, in the winter, another summer transfer window. Start next season, see where we are next season. Then if you want to nitpick, then I suppose if you're going to nitpick, you're going to nitpick. But I don't think that the nitpicking should be done this season after 9 games.
Fair, 100% fair. And another thing too, though, you say that we haven't been playing the champagne football, but even when we were playing champagne football, I still think that we were far too reliant on 1 or 2 players, whereas this season, even though everything hasn't gelled, everything hasn't clicked perfectly, we're not relying so much on one.
Well, when we played the champagne football, there was a team effort, mate. No, it was a team effort. When we played the champagne football, we had 2 fullbacks, because they weren't wing backs. We had 2 fullbacks who played as auxiliary wingers in the sense of Walker and Rose. So that's 2 players already. But then in the midfield, we relied on one to hold the midfield together, which is possibly Dembele. So that's relying on 3 players. We had 2 centre-halves who were fantastic footballers. Then we had Eriksen, Dele Alli, Sonny, Kane, and then whoever played with them. So whether it be Lamella or whoever came into play, we relied on a team. It wasn't one player. Towards the end of it, towards now in the last 4 seasons, we relied heavily on Kane. But before that, we had a team effort. Under Pochettino, there was a team effort. For 3 seasons, there was a team effort. Okay, so Kane ended up scoring loads of goals. But so did Dele Alli. So did Eriksen scored goals.
True. Yeah.
Our defenders scored goals. So we were relying on a team. It wasn't just one player. Latterly, we relied on Kane a lot. But with this team again, we're not relying on one player. It's a team effort. And you can see, and this is my other argument for some of the people that were moaning about Kulu, right, is you can see the team effort. Not one player, singular, plural, team effort, where they're all pitching in for each other. They're all helping out each other. The defence is doing their job, it's helping out the midfield. The midfield is doing their job, which helps out the forwards and the defenders. Forwards do their job, which helps out the rest of the team. And our goalkeeper has been out of this world. It's a team effort.
100%. And maybe I was thinking a little bit, my judgment or my thinking has been clouded by the dross, awful football that we've watched for the past 2 years. Because see, my brain is just, my COVID time was in there. Time is just kind of, I don't remember it like I used to. But you're right. I forgot. Didn't Dele have damn near 20 goals in that one season? I think there was a season where Dele got.
Teams didn't want to play against Tottenham back then. Teams didn't want to face us because we done off the ball. We ran for 110 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
So people are talking about, we go to the end now. Under Pochettino for 3 seasons, we went right up to the end as well. We were scoring goals, late in games. We were absolutely outrunning teams at the end of the games. You know, it was a team effort. It wasn't one player that was doing it. One player can't run and do all the running for the team. It was done by everybody. And we've got that again. You can see the players, they're all there for each other. And the other plus is you can see they want to be there as well.
Absolutely. That's a huge thing that we haven't had in recent years. But in recent years, we've had managers that have been toxic and have alienated players and not fostered that squad harmony. And that, you know, it's definitely a lot of things, I think, contributing. Real quick, I just wanted to, before we got too far past this, I just wanted to read out Adrian's comment here. We have coped with the pace of Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, and we always get something from Man City. So I'm not worried who we face. And that's a good point. And Adrian also kind of brings up the point that, without really maybe meaning to, we don't have European football this season, so we don't have to worry about facing some of these European giants, which is a good thing, like you were saying, in a manager's first season. I think that's immensely helpful. You know, he can have some more transfer windows, build the squad more into, you know, the shape that he wants before we have to go out and do all that. So I think that's a great thing. Big up, Adrian. An audio artisan, big up to you too, my man. Been a while, maybe just since the last show. I honestly, sorry about that, but it's nice to have you here, sir. And Mile High Hotspur, Leo, big up, Leo. Hope you're doing good, my man. Hope everybody watching is doing good. Having a really good Wednesday. We're halfway through the week, everybody. Over halfway. So
the other important thing to note is that with Postecoglou, we won't be worried about other teams. We have to worry about what we do and what we do only. And for him, it's about learning his way of playing, picking it up sooner rather than later, right? And to continue to do what they're being coached to do. He's not worried about what Liverpool, Man United, Man City, the Gooners, Chelsea, Newcastle. He doesn't care what the other teams are doing. They got to do what they got to do. We're in our own bubble. We're in our own process. We're in our own building stage. We're doing everything on the pitch. Everything we do on the pitch is for us to learn together, not to learn and worry about other teams. We're not doing that.
Big love, Kate. Nice to have you here. Caught the end of your show this morning. As always, great show. Kate versus Jim, round 2. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, Jose. And it's almost like, I know that he's not Sean Dyche, clearly, but it's almost like I feel like we've needed a big, kind of scary, angry manager for a while. I think that the managers talk about the players being too soft, and, you know, Conte had that big speech about, you know, this is the way at Tottenham. They don't want to play under stress. They don't want to. So you think the manager is responsible for a portion of that? I mean, the manager has to get his team playing for him, has to get the team up for it, has to instill that confidence in the players, and I think Postecoglou has, where Conte couldn't do it.
But hold on. Let's be fair. Come on. We've got to weigh up apples with apples and not apples with pears here. Come on. Let's weigh this up correctly, right? So, yeah. Right. So Tottenham, right, in the last, what are we going to call it? We're going to call it last 10 years? Or we're going to go longer?
Let's 10. 10's good.
Okay. What Conte was alluding to is for the last 10 years, not this season, up until last season, for 10 seasons, we had different managers come in with different ideas, different things that they wanted us to do. And we never reached that stage, and we never got to that stage, and we never pushed on for that stage. And what Conte was basically saying is, you can bring all the managers in, you've got the same players, and they're doing the same things. It doesn't matter who's managing them, right? Now, that is what he was saying, and that's what he meant. However, with Ange, right, let's go back to last season, Colin. Who was the leadership group last year?
Kane, we had Dyer. Those, for some reason, Ben Davis, maybe it was Ben Davis in the leadership group.
Lloris? Yeah.
Lloris, Kane, Dyer.
Yeah. And Doherty?
That's so weird to me, but okay, yeah.
Matt Doherty was part of it, and there's one other. I'm missing a player. Someone's going to remind me. But anyway, whoever the leadership 5 were, they're no longer the leadership group. Yeah,
true.
So
Yeah.
these players have had influence over things Tottenham for years and years, right? Some more than others because some haven't been with the club that long. Look at our starting lineup. Did we have Vicario last season?
Nope.
Did we have a Doggy last season?
Nope.
Van der Ven?
Nope.
Porro was new to the club, hardly played. Basuma didn't play last season, so he's new to the club to me.
Yeah, agreed.
Absard hardly played. He's new to the club to me. Madison wasn't in the club last season.
True.
All right, Kulu, Son, and Richie were, but they weren't part of this leadership group and that. So he's come in, destroyed the leadership group, said, this is how I won it, has chosen his captain or his captaincy team, right?
Which so I like that, yeah.
So straight away, he's made changes, right? Because he's seen in his own eyes what he believes the issues are, and he's made them changes. A lot of the players that were poisoning the club, right, if you want for a better word, they're either no longer in the first 11 or they're no longer at the club.
Yeah.
So they're the changes he's made. But before that, we were using the same type of players. Yeah, and I heard it on people's shows, right? Someone turned around and said, go back 10 years ago and look at someone's squad or someone's first 11 in a football match, and then look at ours last season. And how many players are still playing, i.e. are still playing for the club 10 years further down the line. And we were the only club that had loads of players still in our 11. We had, last season, I think we had Lloris, Kane, Sonny, Dyer, Davies, and there was a couple of others that were all still in the team from 6 years and 7 years ago. You look at other teams, they evolve, they change, they swap out players and they evolve. Yet we were the only team that had the highest proportion of players still with us. It'd be different if we were winning things, yeah, and that's why we kept the group together. But the fact is we've won fuck all. We've won nothing, yet our group is still together. So if we're not successful, then why are we maintaining the group?
Very good point. And I can't give you a good reason. I don't have a great answer for that question. Was it I mean, it partly, I mean, it had to do with the fact that we were changing managers so often that they clearly thought there needed to be some kind of in-house leadership group, right? I mean, is that your thought that's why the leadership group was formed? Was it something? And I also wonder, was it something that was like actually formed, or did it just kind of happen to turn into that? Do you think they sat them down and when they were like, "Hey, you boys, you're going to be the leadership group"?
No, I think they took it amongst themselves. To be honest, I don't think anyone said we're going to have a leadership group. I just think it's something, a role that they took upon themselves, and it was allowed to happen by whenever they started this. It was allowed to happen. Listen, when you got a leadership group, so at work, right? At work, you could have a leadership team at work. It can be a leadership team from the people right at the top who become your corporate management team or your leadership management team, or you could have a leadership team within your core workers. So the people that have got feet on the ground, you could have and what you mean by that is you have a spokesperson, or you might do a working party or something like that. But something like that is something positive and should bring positivity to the workplace. I don't think that the leadership group we actually had was bringing any positivity. And the other thing is, and how true and accurate it is, I don't know. But I've got a feeling that the bunch of players that we had a lot of sway with the chairman. So basically, they could bypass the manager's door and go straight to the chairman. And that I don't agree with. And I think that was happening. And that I do not agree with.
Yeah, no, and we saw it. I mean, we saw it in the documentary, players going directly to the chairman. And like you said, that completely bypasses the manager. It's incredibly disrespectful. And I think it showed, like you said, that the players had more sway and more power than the manager. I think, to be honest, I think Daniel Levy knew it was easier to replace one manager than it was to replace an entire squad. And so he let these guys have more power than they should. They were responsible for managers being sacked. But anyway, with enough about that, I guess I just really wanted to get through some more comments real quick. Todd Spurs was saying big up to
you got Ellie saying there's more to come.
Absolutely, well, there's more to come.
That's the leadership group. She believes it's Højbjerg, Lloris, Dyer, Kane, Davis. She believes that.
I knew Davis was in there. I don't know why. I think it's just because he had been there for so long.
And then you've got Totspurs coming in to Ellie and to Kate, saying that he watched the replay of the Football Terrace after the match show versus Fulham. He said that you ladies were brilliant versus disrespectful, arrogant youngsters.
I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard similar things. Heard it was kind of
And there's a thank you for Kate to Totspurs, and there's a thank you from Ellie to Totspurs.
Boom.
Daniel E is coming in with, but most teams have a leadership group. Kate's giving love. Ellie's giving love to Kate.
All love.
Have you ever seen the program Birds of a Feather, English program?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
She's describing them two to Birds of a Feather. I wouldn't describe myself to Birds of a Feather, but that's fine if that's what they want to do. And then you've asked Daniel, would you say Romero, Son, and Madders are now the group? And he says yes. And then you have Kate laughing at Ellie. And we're up with the chat.
Awesome. Well, and then Kaiba and Kira wanted to say hello. So hello back to them, everybody in the chat. If you would like to say hi to Kira and Kaiba, you are more than welcome. They are saying hello to you. Daniel E, though, says the difference with that leadership group we used to have was out of all of them, Ben Davies is the only one to win a trophy in English football. Well, so have any of the guys in our leadership group right now? I guess Madison obviously has won the league. But yeah, interesting.
Madison won at Leicester when they won the league.
Yeah. Oh, he wasn't?
No, it's well before his time. You're talking, they won the league years and years ago, didn't they? 16, 17 or around that time.
Madison, yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Madison was a pup. He was playing for Norwich or something,
Norwich.
Or Coventry or something like that.
Yeah, it probably was Norwich at the time.
Yeah, no, Madison wouldn't have won the league, I think. Madison he may have won the FA Cup with them, though.
Okay.
He may have won the FA Cup with them, but he definitely didn't win the league. Definitely.
Well, so Dan, the leadership group we have now.
Their centre midfielders at the time were Kante and Danny Drinkwater, and both of them have got moves on the back of the winning the league that year. And I think they both got moves to Chelsea. Kante and Drinkwater both went to Chelsea.
Drinkwater didn't get a whole lot of game time at Chelsea, from what I can recall. I think that was more of a homegrown.
I think he's more or less retired now, Drinkwater, because I don't think he's playing for anybody. I think he was released and no one took him up on it.
It was mostly a homegrown thing, wasn't it? At least that's what it appeared to be to me. Was a homegrown signing. But anyway, Daniel Lee says, yeah, Matters joined 2017, a year after the league. Okay, gotcha. Good to know, guys. If you saw yesterday's episode, you saw that we did something a little different for Keeper West Ham. We'll rejoin and we'll revisit the match. I have a couple more questions about it for you guys. But first, just wondered if everybody was ready for Keeper West Ham, the new edition. This isn't quite Keeper West Ham, but it's Keep, Bench, or West Ham. And guys, if you thought yesterday's was tough, we've got another tough one for you. And yeah, smash the likes if we're top of the league, everybody. Get that like smashed. But with that said, let's get going. Hey, hello, everyone. I love that intro. It gets me pumped up every single time I play it. But yeah, guys. So if you remember yesterday, we had a very special keeper West Ham where we had the 3 players instead of the 2. We liked that so much, we thought we would do it again today. And here are the players. You'll please have to forgive me for the kit that Berbatov is wearing here. I was having trouble finding the image I wanted, so I just grabbed this one. But we've got Berbatov, we've got Defoe, and we've got Keane. And it's keep, bench, or West Ham.
We could have thrown Darren Bent in there as well, but we knew where Darren Bent would be going, so we didn't throw Darren Bent. A bit like we could have thrown Danny Rose in yesterday as well, but we knew what would happen to Danny Rose. So basically, it's 3 players that we've picked that would have been playing at the same time. 3 different football kits, but they all played in the same time. It was these 3 plus Pavlyuchenko, and I think it was these 3 plus Darren Bent that all played around the same time. So it's who would you keep, who would you bench, and who would you send, and if possible, why?
Exactly. The why is our favorite part as hosts. We just like to know what you're thinking, why you're thinking it, and we'll of course give you ours. This one is easier for me than probably for some other people, and it is mainly based on who I got to see the most of in my time.
Why don't you give us yours then, Colin? See if you can persuade.
Yeah.
The chat, because we had one response already, but you can see if you can persuade the chat.
So I'm gonna keep Jermaine Defoe.
Okay.
Loved Jermaine Defoe. Loved him in both his stints with us. I also love that he had a pretty positive and big impact on Harry Kane. Kane, told the story many times of how he was having a kickabout with some friends. That Defoe was driving by, stopped, got out to kind of kick around with them. That was pretty meaningful to Harry. He has told the story quite a few times, so it must have meant quite a bit to him. And he also mentions too, I think it was when he was 18. Yeah, that Defoe gave Kane the 18 jersey and said, "There's goals in that number," or something to that effect. And and Kane wore it and scored lots of goals in it. So I like that story. It's wholesome. I also like Defoe as a good player. He got to be kind of shoot on sight there in his second stint, and that was frustrating. Of course, a little bit. He was offside quite a bit, but he was still a good player, still capable of smashing in the goals, especially when we really, really needed somebody to do it. Bench, I would go Berbatov, just because I've never seen somebody play with the ease in which he has played the game. He looked like he was having a stroll in the park, yet he could, outdo anybody else on the pitch. He stuff that I've seen him do with the football is absolutely magic. So a lot of people would probably say to keep him, but he's going on the bench for me. I think he'd be a great sub. And then unfortunately, that means Robbie Keane's got to go to West Ham. His wonderful celebration be damned. He's still got to go. Yeah, those are my 3. I know it's not the greatest answers ever, but definitely, keep Defoe, keep Burbs on the bench. Keane goes to West Ham for me. Jose, I'm interested. So we'll go through a little bit of the chats here.
So we're going back to the chats. We need to go back to just before we did it. Oldie Artisan said that Danny Drinkwater got a red card in the youth match versus Spurs for having a punch up with Alfie Devine.
I remember that now. Nice. Yeah, that was classy. Very, very classy of the man to get into a fight with an actual child.
Adrian, the historian's coming with Everton and Man City face points deductions for breaching financial fair play rules. City face 115 charges, which is more than Everton, who are in danger of a 12 points deduction. So I think the Premier League has told the commission, whoever it is that's looking into this, that their view is that if they're guilty, which they think Everton are, or whatever they've done, then they should face a 12-point deduction. So,
spicy. That could be the the difference between Everton staying up or going down. That's crazy for a team like them that haven't been you know what I mean, particularly great for a long time. So, yeah, that's
Kate's come in with keep Berbatov bench Defoe and keep the West Ham. But then, when I said, yeah, but we need explanations, Kate's then said, reasons Berbatov was exceptional talent, Defoe are Fox on the box, and Keane, as he's least technically gifted, goes to West Ham.
Fair. Richarlison needs to replace Dan, dude. Dan.
It's your fam, so I thought you'd understand what's going on. It might be code for you. I don't know.
I don't know either. Let us know who Dan is. I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll keep going. Darren Bent, I wouldn't even piss on him if he was on fire. Guys, pathetic. Wow. That's pretty.
That's why we was doing this, and I said let's do the keep, bench, sell, and retire. If we had done the 4 strikers, Bent would have been retired by everybody. And if I'd done the defenders, I reckon Rose would have been retired by everybody. Definitely. So good job that the midfielders that we've got coming up on another show. I've only done 3 rather than do 4 there as well.
Yeah, I think we'll make the retire would make it too easy. I think everybody would be retiring the same player. But
and then
so we've got
Danny. If it's based on actual whole Spurs career or who's better quality, because if it's over their Spurs career, it's Defoe and King. But if it's pure quality, then it's obviously Berber. At the end of the day, we are not putting any stipulations on this. This is just a question. It's an open-ended question. Some people will say, yeah, but you need to define whether it's over their careers, whether it's the trophies that they won, whether it's fit in the Ange system. No, it's just a question. It's an open-ended question. You take what you may from it, and you just give us your opinion on the 3 players and why you would and why you would not.
100%.
Top Spurs has come in with keep Berbatov, a great player with a knife for goal and sublime touch. Defoe bench, brilliant striker on the edge of the box with a quick turn. Keane, send, quality player, but just under the previous 2.
Agreed.
And he's also said Keane's great celebration though. Yeah, after the roly-poly.
Yeah.
And then you've got Danny is talking about the Man City will be fine. They're too well run to leave themselves not proper covered. Unlike Everton, who have pathetic owners who could not even cover their tracks, probably when cooking the books.
That's a good point. I do have a hard time seeing City getting a points deduction. Just I don't know. It doesn't seem realistic to me. Jose, do you see anywhere like do you actually see that happening? Do you see City getting a points deduction?
So when City were found guilty by UEFA, they were found guilty. They were guilty. When they queried it and referred it to ACAT, to whoever it was, they referred it to the Court of Arbitration or European law, whoever it was they referred it to, they found that they were guilty, but they couldn't pursue it because there was a couple of technical issues. So on 2 technicalities, they dropped the whole lot and said you can't pursue the action you're going to take with them. And it was all to do with something that happened. It was technical. I can't remember what it was now, but it was right dribble. But if you're going to go by the book, you have to go by the book. And that's why they didn't get done. However, this, I believe, is the Premier League that are doing this. It's not UEFA. So the Premier League it's under a different body and there's a different judicial review for it. But the Premier League would not have charged them with 115 counts unless they were sure that these 115 had been breached or that they would have a really decent case of them being found guilty. So where I believe that UEFA were castigated for a technicality, I don't think that the Premier League would leave themselves open to being judged against on a technicality. So I think that, this has been rumbling for about 2 years now. Mm-hmm. It's for a period of time it's a lot older than 2 years ago. I think it goes up to 2019, but it's for several years up until 2019. So with these people, I think it comes down to how many of the 115 charges can be proven. And
I mean, if any of them can be.
Well, I think they will. It's just how many can be proven. And I'd say to myself that even if you could prove 25% of them, which would be 28, if you could prove 28, then that's 25% of them. Then I'm thinking to myself, you're going to get something for if you got 28 breaches, rule breaches. But what they're doing is, obviously, because they've got the lawyers to pay for and stuff like that, they're probably arguing each one in turn on points of law and other things, and prolonging the process in the hope that someone's just going to say, "Oh, fuck it, I'm just going to give up on it." But I don't think that'll happen. I think that they're going to. I think the Premier League have got a. I think they've got the bone in their mouth at the moment, and they don't want to let go of that bone. So I think the Premier League will pursue it till the end.
I really hope you're right, and you're right about City kind of prolonging it. I mean, the longer it goes on, the less people will remember about it, the less outrage there will be from other football fans, of other clubs. But yeah, I mean, they've got Pep Guardiola, they've got the darling manager in the league.
It's not about the manager though; it's about the people they've got above, the lawyers that they bring in and who they're paying to bring in to support their case. They're the ones. But then, what I would also say to the people that are making comments at the moment is that obviously they would have had to have submitted evidence to the Premier League because they were asked to submit it, so they would have submitted it. And if the Premier League is still charging them on 115 counts after they've submitted the evidence that they were requested to submit, it tells me that either somebody did their job wrong in their submission, because we still got charged for 115 counts. So someone's done their job wrong in the submission, or that there actually is the irregularities there. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to soften whatever's going to come their way. I just think they've got they've got the bone in their mouth at the moment, and they're gonna go for it. The Premier League ain't dropping it. And I also think as well there's a few other high profile, should we call them chairmen in the league, who want to see Man City caught out for what they've done. And probably there's some other clubs that haven't been caught out as yet that they would like to see caught out. And with that, I'd say someone like Chelsea. They'd like to see them caught out because they believe that there's been wrongdoings in other clubs as well. And one of the leaders and one of the heaviest protesters for this, and is on the bandwagon, is our very own Daniel Levy. Daniel Levy is absolutely, he berates he goes to the Premier League and says, "You've got to do something about it. You've got to do something about it." So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Daniel is now saying, "I love Defoe, but Keane and Berber's football IQ is above Defoe." Adrian Schroeder says, "Man City have most to fear because if Everton get 12-point deduction, then City's fate will be much worse." Totally agree. Daniel says, "This will rumble on for years. City know exactly what they need to do." Adrian says, "Exactly." And then we have caught up with everybody who's had a go. So at the moment, we've got Tot Spurs, Kate, Danny, and Adrian, I believe, that have had a go. But we've got 10 people watching, and there's 6 people that haven't had a go. So if you'd like to have a go, let us know. It's who would you keep, who would you bench, and who would you sell out of these 3 strikers that we had at the club at one time, which is Dimitar Berbatov, Jermaine Defoe, and Robbie Keane.
Your pronunciations are on point. I'm never gonna do that. You're in charge of the name pronunciations from now on. It's perfect. It's perfect. So we haven't heard your answer yet, by the way.
Hasper's coming. He's saying, "Keep Berber."
Ooh, Hasper. What's up?
So he's keeping. He's keeping Berber, benching Defoe, selling Keane. Yeah, but not. We don't know the reasons as to why, but that's his decision.
And I thought that would be a popular one.
You want my decision?
Yeah, I do.
I suppose it's the way to get this one out for me is depending on where I put the question, I could come up with 3 different answers. So, who gave the most to Tottenham would give me one answer. Skill factor would probably give me a totally different answer. And what they did and how they left the club and what they've done in order to get out of the club would give me a totally different answer as well.
So let's hear. So let's go with well, whichever way you like to answer it. It's totally up to you.
Right. So if I'm going on skill levels, it would be Berber, Keane, Defoe.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
If I'm going for skill.
Wait, you think you'd put Keane above Defoe for skill level?
For skill levels, yeah, because all round football wise, Keane had a good brain. Keane was an all round. Defoe was a fox in the box. Defoe weren't your set up man and play through the midfield, hold up the balls and all stuff like that. He didn't do all that. He was your finisher.
Yeah, that's
Defoe
true.
was always a finisher. Keane had an all round football game type thing, and so did Berber, but probably Berbatov looked a bit more finesseful than what Keane probably did. Although I thought Keane was a great footballer. So in that case, I'd go for Berber, Keane, Defoe. If we're then looking at goals, then I'm keeping Defoe, all day long because he scored more goals than the other two. And then it'll probably be Keane second and Berber goes to West Ham. And then if I look at it the way that these guys left the club, then I'd be keeping Defoe. I'd be benching Keane, but I'd definitely get rid of Berbatov because Berbatov angled for a move out of the club. Keane, we always knew wanted to better himself, and Liverpool was his boyhood club, and we all knew that anyway. So we didn't really stand much in his way. And as for Defoe just loved Tottenham. He came to us twice. He loved Tottenham. Do you see what I mean? So asking me the question, then I could give you different answers for all three. But that's what I said. Such an open-ended question that everyone has a reason for what their answers are. And I could give different permutations to what my answer would be, depending on how I looked at it. But I suppose if I'm going to look at it overall,
well, I'll bring them back up too, just so you can get.
If I'm looking at overall, I'm going to do it to fit a iron system. I'm keeping Defoe for definite because he is the number 9 that we need, the goal scorer. So I would keep Defoe in that team. I would bench. I'd bench King, and I'd sell Berber.
Wow!
Because we already have Maddison that plays in that position.
It's true, and would Berba run enough to fit this system too? Is a question that I would have.
For me, Keane would score. Keane would be that the person in between the Maddison and Son role at the moment. Defoe's bang on. He's got the Son role and even further forward done. But if you wanted an in-between role, I think the in-between role could be covered better by Keane, where Berber is either one or the other.
So this is something I didn't know much about, but was he much of was he very important in the build-up? I mean, would he drop back and get involved and link up play at all, or was he?
Who's that?
Because Robbie Keane.
Keane and Berbatov would link up play, yeah. Defoe was your goal scorer. Defoe was an out and out anywhere on the 18-yard box. Defoe was your out and out goal scorer.
He's slapping it. He's going to have a shot for sure.
The other two could score whether they were in the box or out of the box. The other two could score, but the other two could link play up as well. And one of them had sublime skill, and that was Berbatov had fucking skill in abundance. He had it all up. He had it all up in his head. Everything was in his head, and he was forward thinking.
He was something else. I think he was also thinking about the next cigarette he was going to have too. He was like, 30 more minutes, I can go have a cigarette in the training, in the locker room, come back out, do this again. I just the Bulgarians, man, he's a great footballer for sure. I bet he could still play, just with the fact that he never was much of a sprinter. I think he could honestly, I think he could still play for a lower league team. But yeah, Berbatov, best out of the bunch. He was too good. Defoe, goal scorer, and I loved him. Despite Keane being good, I always preferred Defoe as he was more explosive, etc. And did it under Airy too, unlike Keane.
Harry Redknapp.
Love him.
Yeah.
Love him.
Daniel, if it's for football IQ, Berber and Keane easy ahead of Defoe in that aspect. Adrian says, I'd keep Defoe for his loyalty to the club. Bench Keane and sell Berbatov, which is exactly what I said. If it's going down to the loyalty stuff and how you left the club, this is the way that I would have gone. But then the way that has gone, I could have gone that way as well. And the way Kate went, I could have gone that way. But then I could have gone the other ways as well for what I explained. There's actually 4 different ways I could have gone, 4 different permutations, depending how I wanted to think about the question.
Loyalty, skill, goals, how well they'd fit this team.
Goals and how well they fit the team. There's different ways of looking at it.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Hasbro, do you remember the goal Keane scored against Blackburn years ago when he got the ball from the throw-in and made the goal all himself? That's the difference. Defoe couldn't really do that.
No, definitely. He definitely couldn't.
And then Tot Spurs is saying Berbatov didn't have to run.
No, he really didn't.
Hasbro saying Keane and Berba had an amazing partnership. Adrian is saying Defoe scored 5 in a match, and Has is saying it was against Wigan, and Adrian's agreeing.
Yeah. See, so I need to maybe educate myself a bit more on Robbie Keane. This is kind of showing me that I maybe don't know enough about this.
Robbie Keane was a wonderful footballer. He started out, and I think it was Coventry where he was first earmarked at Coventry. And I think from Coventry, I think Inter Milan bought him. And he went to Milan, but he was so young. I think he might have been 19, 20 when he went to Milan. He went to Milan at a really young age. They saw the potential this kid had, and they took him to Milan. And I think he might have had 2 seasons in Milan. Didn't play a great deal. I think I'm trying to go back to memory. And
Adrian will tell you if you're wrong.
I think he went to Milan. Then we bought him from Milan. I think we bought him from Milan. Played Russ, but turned around and always said he wanted to go Liverpool. Leeds. Sorry. He went from Inter Milan to Leeds, then we got him from Leeds. And then from us, he went to Liverpool.
And
then back to us. I don't know whether I think his first spell was better than his second spell with us.
As it mostly goes. Same with Defoe, I would say.
But he played for some good. Robbie Keane played for some good teams. He played in a good Leeds side. He played for us. He played for Inter Milan. He played for Liverpool. And where did he go after he left us the second time round? I can't remember where he went.
Somebody in the chat.
Wolves or somewhere like that. Was he at Wolves as well? If I remember rightly, he was at Wolves as well. God, I'm going to look it up now. He definitely was at Leeds. Exactly. He came to us from Leeds, I think. So,
yeah. And shout out to Has for that little tidbit. Thank you, Has. Danny says, it was the Keane and Mito times. I love Defoe, but it's Robbie Keane's football brain that gets it for me. Remember the goal against Birmingham when he hid behind the post? That sounds hilarious. No, I do not remember, but I wish I did. I'm going to Google that right now, actually.
So he started off at Wolves, and he was there for 2 seasons. He made 73 appearances and scored 24 goals. That got him a move to Coventry, where he did 1 season at Coventry, where he played 31 times and scored 12 goals. This is all still while being young, because he was born. So he was in Wolves in 97, and he was born in 1980. So 17 at Wolves, 18. He was 19 when he was at Coventry for 1 season. Then he got signed by Inter Milan, and he was only at Inter Milan for 1 season. He made 6 appearances with no goals, and in the following season, Milan sent him out to Leeds on loan. At Leeds on loan, he played 18 times and scored 9 goals. That got him a permanent move to Leeds. In Leeds, for 1 season, he played 28 times, scored 4. Then we signed him. He played 197 times, scored 80. And that was in 6 seasons. Then he went to Liverpool for 1 season, played 19 times, scored 5 goals. Then he came back to Tottenham for 2 years, where he scored 41 goals. He's played 41 times, scored 11 goals. But during the time that he came back, we loaned him out to Celtic, where he played 16 games and scored twice. And we loaned him to West Ham, where he played 9 times and scored twice.
I knew there was a West Ham connection there.
Then in 2011, he went to LA Galaxy for 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
And at LA Galaxy, he scored 83 goals in 125 games. He was loaned out to Aston Villa during one of their breaks for the MLS, where he played 6 times and scored 3 goals, and then he finished his career at ATK, where he played 1 season, playing 9 times, scoring 6 goals. So in his senior career, he played 578 times and he scored 251 goals.
ATK, is that in Greece or something?
Possibly. No, AEK. AEK is Greece.
Okay.
I don't know what ATK is.
It's in India. It's in Bengal. Interesting.
Is that where he went? So he went to India to finish up his career.
That is what it looks like.
Shifting the Indian club, ATK, right? Okay, and then his managerial career. He was manager at ATK in 2018 for 1 season, and now he's manager of Maccabi Tel Aviv. And Maccabi Tel Aviv are currently playing in the Europa or the Europa Conference or the Europa League, and that's where Keane is at the moment. Because Keane's also been a coach at many other clubs as well. So
that's awesome. See, there's a lot more to that man than I ever knew. So thank you to you, Jose, and to everybody in the chat, because now I have goals to look up. I've got, I've got some homework to do. Danny says
he played for some big clubs. Yeah, he played with some big clubs. Let's put it that way. He did play with some big clubs.
Yeah, absolutely. He Champions League games today. Oh, this is my cousin again, Grant. Yeah, there are Champions League games on today. I need to see who's playing. I'm not 100% sure. But yes, there are some Champions League games today.
Who's playing today? We're not.
No, unfortunately not. So,
do you want to know who's playing?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I can give you who's playing. Right, tonight's games in the Champions League, because there was games last night. You're aware of the games last night, yeah?
Fairly. I know that Bayern won against.
They won 3-1 away. So tonight's games, they kick off in 35 minutes. The 2 early games. You got Barcelona versus Shakhtar Donetsk. You got Feyenoord versus Lazio. And then the later kickoffs between 2 and 3/4 hours time are Celtic versus Atletico de Madrid, Newcastle versus Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain versus Milano, RB Leipzig versus Crvena Zvezda, which are they Hajduk Split, the old name? You have Royal Antwerp, who Vincent Janssen plays for now, and Toby. They're at home to FC Porto. And then you've got Young Boys of Switzerland against Manchester City.
That's Manchester City is going to absolutely win that match. But yeah, some of them are going to be close. I'm interested
last night you had Galatasaray 1, Bayern München 3, Internazionale de Milano 2, Red Bull Salzburg 1, FC Union Berlin 0, Napoli 1, Benfica 0, Real Sociedad 1, Lens 1, PSV 1, Manchester United 1, FC Copenhagen 0, and they had a penalty given to them in the last minute, and Onana saved it. Otherwise, it would have been a 1-1 draw. Wow. You have Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2, and Sporting Braga 1, Real Madrid 2. And that boy Bellingham scored again.
He's definitely finding his feet there for sure.
Well, he wasn't scoring. He didn't score this many goals in Birmingham or Borussia Dortmund. He's gone to Madrid. They put him in the hole, and he's got like 11 goals in 10 games.
Yeah, it's wild. Him and why can't I think of the other chap's name? It's not Rodrigo. Who's the dude I'm thinking of? The winger thing for Madrid. The guy that
you got Rodrigo and you got Vinny Jr.
Yeah, that's a heck of a
They're front. They played that because they've got no forward at the moment because Benzema left. They bought in Joselu or someone like that. They bought a player in on loan from another Spanish club who isn't the greatest of players but scored some goals last season. They brought him in, hardly play him in the 9, and now what they've done is they've changed their system tactically in order to fit Rodrigo and Vinicius as their forward two players coming in from the wings and they're attacking players. But sitting in the hole right behind them two, they've got Bellingham. And Bellingham scored most of the goals. Well, Bellingham scored more than any others in Madrid at the moment. He's some player, 20 years old. He's some player. It's beyond belief. He's just absolutely superb. He is Ballon d'Or winning material, and he's 20 years of age. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's got the world. When people say you've got the world at your feet, this boy has got more than the world at his feet. He's brilliant.
It's weird how Sancho, I feel like, was kind of thought of in that same vein or that same caliber of player, I feel like, but it just hasn't quite worked out for him.
Well, I'll give it to you, right? I'm going to give it to you, right, Colin? See, right, this is the scenario. You've got Sancho, Phil Foden, Callum Hudson-Odoi. Do you know Callum Hudson-Odoi? I
do.
Right.
I do. Chelsea was a Chelsea player. I'm not sure if he still is.
He's now a Nottingham Forest player. Them three players played for England in the 2017 or whatever it was World Cup winning team when they beat Spain in the final 5-2, right? Mm-hmm. Sancho was only allowed to play up until the quarter-final stage because he was already a first team at Borussia Dortmund. They called him back, right? So regardless of that fact, right, you have them three players all play similar positions, right? Out of them three players, Foden is now a regular England international and is winning titles with Man City and plays near enough every week. Yeah?
Yep.
Sancho got his move to Dortmund, then moved to Man United. Is not doing nothing much. He's not getting into the team at Man United. He's so far away from he's as far away from the England squad as Dele Alli is at the moment. That's where he's currently at.
When you put it like that, that's
where he currently is. And then you've got Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's probably as far as well, but it didn't work out for him at Chelsea. He was going to get Bayern wanted him a couple of years ago. He's then come back. He's not played up to standard at Chelsea. So Chelsea let him out on loan last season. He didn't do that well on his loan. Bought him back. They've sold him now to Forest. And he's starting now to get some game time at Forest. But it shows you how careers change. Because the forward for England in the 2017 World Cup winning team, they had two forwards. Rhian Brewster, who's at Sheffield United, who was signed from Liverpool. He was a youngster at Liverpool at the time. And Sheffield United paid 23 million for him about 3 or 4 years ago. And he's had loads of injuries and that and hardly plays. And he's now playing for Sheffield. He's now at Sheffield United. He came on a sub at the weekend. He hasn't played for a while. And then you've got the other boys, Calvert-Lewin at Everton. He was a forward in that World Cup winning squad as well. So it just goes to show where the players then go on to and what they. Doesn't matter that they were world champions. It just shows you what they go on to carve out later on in life and how their paths all go separate ways. And some people make it and some people don't.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and how it's almost like a butterfly effect kind of thing. As one small change, one move could really derail or set your career, on track. It's interesting for sure.
So Daniel is saying that Hudson-Odoi is injured at Forest again already. Now, I didn't know that, Daniel, because from when I saw Forest play, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I can't remember who they're playing. They're playing one of the bigger sides. I don't know, Man United, Arsenal, someone like that. They were playing one of the bigger sides, and Hudson-Odoi scored a screamer. But they had Hudson-Odoi going down one wing, and they had Anthony Elanga, they bought from Man U, going down the other wing. And the other player that Forest have got in their squad, that was in that World Cup winning squad, is Morgan Gibbs-White was in that World Cup winning squad as well. So, I didn't realise he was injured because I saw him score that brilliant goal against whoever it was that I watched him a couple of weeks ago. But I didn't realise he'd got injured again. So, it just shows you how people's paths change as they go through. So,
yeah, 100%.
He's out injured again.
Bummer. That could be part of this problem too. He could just be incredibly, incredibly injury prone, which obviously will derail your career just a bit.
Do you think, I'm going to ask a question, and I'll ask the chat as well. Do you think that some medical teams don't help the players out?
Yeah, I do.
The reason why I'm saying that is because some teams seem to have injury after injury after injury, and their medical teams don't seem to get it right about the dates of return. I mean, we had it at Tottenham. We've had it forever and a day with our medical team telling us things, and it's not apparent what they've told us is true. I mean, we've got told, yeah, Lo Celso's got a really slight knock. He's available though. And that's what the medical team has said. And then when Postecoglou's come out to have his presser for the game, he says, no, he's out completely. And you're like, hold on, but the medical team a couple of days ago said it's just a little niggle and he's fine. You're saying he's now out and you don't know when he's coming back. And it seems to happen to us quite often at Tottenham, but other clubs as well. I mean, Odoi, is it because he's injury prone, or is it because the medical team have rushed him back where he's been at? I don't know. I really don't know.
It's a good point. It's a really good point. I don't know. I wonder how much of it is on the players themselves. We know that these guys are ultra hyper competitive and they want to play at every possible moment. And so I'm wondering if part of it is the players themselves saying, oh, hey, I'm fine. I can play. I'm good. You know, I feel better. And then they maybe go out and then injure themselves further. That's something that I could see. But when you say the medical team not helping out, do you mean maybe
rushing them back or you know, stuff like that? Because it seems to be that some players are just perennially injured. Some clubs seem to get more injuries than others, and the updates that you get from some clubs say one story, but when you speak to the manager, he's saying something completely different. And so you're like, sometimes I don't know where we stand. It could be naturally some people, like you're saying, because for me, the one that sticks out in my mind from what you're saying is Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin, if you could keep him on a pitch for 90 minutes and get 15 games straight out of him, Everton wouldn't be in the position they're in, because he could get Everton out of holes because he score goals for him. But he seems to be, he picks up one injury after another. So I don't know whether he's just prone to injury, or when he does get his injury, he's rushed back. You know, I don't know, but he seems to be more off the pitch, or I might be wrong, but he seems to be more away from the game than being in the game. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I do. Exactly. I 100% see what you mean. It's a tough question to answer.
A lot of people will say we had to, sorry, Colin, a lot of people, do you remember Darren Andon?
Mm-hmm.
They used to call him
Sick Note.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And then you've got Lamela as well. Lamela used to be off the pitch more than on as well. It was deemed to be that way. So is it the player, or is it the teams rushing them back? You know, and when you get them back and you've rushed them back, then they're liable to pick up a further injury. However minimal it is, it's still an injury.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I'd almost like to flip it back to you and see what you have to say. I honestly don't know the answer. I mean,
I don't. That's why I asked the question. I just thought to myself, is it the players are prone to it, right?
Yeah. I think it's a bit of both.
Or is there a life, you come to a certain part of your lifestyle? So, okay, so professional footballers nowadays, then, Cole, majority of them probably get picked up by clubs when they're 6 years old. So they're training with clubs, but they won't be training every day. It'd be 2 evenings a week or whatever it is as a 6-year-old. So you're doing the training, right? So, and as you go through the years, your training gets ramped up as you're going through the years, right?
They got Mia, by the way.
Yeah, hi Mia, how are you? So you pick up the training schedules, get more and more as you get older. Then you end up training, I don't know, 5 days a week when you're, I don't know, let's say when you're 16, when you sign schoolboy forms. So that means your body's being trained to pick up and to do certain things. So your body gets used to it, you're doing certain things. But do some people's bodies just break down at a certain point? Because, like I said, with Calvert-Lewin, he seems to be more off the pitch than on it. And he doesn't seem to get a long, sustained run of games. And the same could probably be said for Callum Hudson-Odoi and, you know, other players as well. So I'm not sure, does the body break down? Because there's a lot of players that don't get injuries. But there certainly are a lot of players that do get the injuries. And some people never come back and they're never the same players because they can't keep on the pitch.
A certain amount of it has to be genetics, right? It has to just be a genetic lottery that some people win, some people
lose. Just saying hello to Ian. I haven't seen you for a while. Hello,
yeah,
Ian. How are you?
Ian, what is up? Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. We're just talking kind of just talking shite a little bit, but wondering about players and injuries and why some players get injured more than others. Is it due to the medical teams? Is it due to genetics and the players' bodies themselves? It's a tough question. It's a tough one to answer. I could speculate though, and my speculation tells me that certain players are just unlucky. I mean, so we have Wayne Rooney and Ronaldo. Aren't Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo like virtually the same age? But
who? Ronaldo
Wayne Rooney.
Are they?
I'll look at it.
Is Rooney not a tad, maybe a couple of years older?
He might be, but I guess
I thought Rooney was in his early 40s now, and I think
he's 38. He's 38.
Yeah. Oh, well, then Ronaldo's approaching 40, then, isn't he?
Yeah, they're both 38 years old. I knew it. So
are they? Okay.
You look at both. Oh no, you're good. But you look at both of those guys, and you know what I mean. You tell me like Ronaldo's body looks like it's 10 years younger at least. You know what I mean?
Ronaldo's body looks like it's 20 years younger, mate. God.
Yeah.
Do you know what? When you saw that he left Man United, he started doing this part of the training regime when he left Man United, and then he's gone to Real Madrid. At Real Madrid, right, he ended up being, his body ended up transforming so much. It's the same as, do you follow golf?
I don't, but I think we've actually spoken about this. So
you got a golfer, you got a golfer out in America. His name escapes me now. During COVID, he left, came back to play, and his body's been transformed. And now he can hit the ball off the tee like something like 60 yards further than what's his name?
Rory McIlroy. Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau. His body changed completely. His body has changed completely. He looks like Mr. Universe now, the top half, where he never did before. All of a sudden he's come back, his body's transformed, and now he can lever that ball a lot further than people that were driving it 320 yards. He can nearly drive it 400 yards. And you're just like, what? So, yeah, these people go away and come back with incredible bodies. And sometimes I think to myself, if you take them something to get to that body.
Exactly.
I know it's hard work, but it's just something else that's been added to that hard work because your body's completely been transformed. Completely.
Yeah. It 100%. Ian says,
"Hi guys, I'm a doctor. I knew he's a Darling fan because I know Ian. We were made bankrupt in 2011, reformed in 2012, demoted 4 leagues. We are currently a part-time fan-owned National League North club. We've had 3 promotions to date. Darlington's up in the northeast. It's up towards where Newcastle and Middlesbrough and all that is. It's all up that way in the northeast. They were a club that were in the league. Yeah, he's quite right in what he says.
That's awesome. 3 promotions to date. That's nothing to scoff at. Hope you keep it up.
Rooney looks as old as the grannies he's liked to lol.
Yeah.
Go on, Mia. Do golfers get tested for PEDs? All the artisan says.
Probably not as often as in other sports. I actually wouldn't. I don't know. That's a great question.
But it's amazing. His transformation is just unreal. Bryson DeChambeau is just unreal. He just came back totally. You looked at him and you thought, so who's this person? It's 2 different people when he's come back.
Do golfers get tested for PEDs? Testing may be done through collection of blood or urine as the PGA Tour deems appropriate. So maybe
he's
not.
On the PGA anymore. He's on the live. He defected.
Oh, okay. Well, then probably not.
He defected to the live. So.
Well, that's like all entertainment and all fun. So I'm guessing that they don't get tested for PEDs much there. I don't know. Interesting question.
Ian Barron's reminding us that Cyril Knowles of Spurs, who played with Spurs, is a Darlington legend.
Boom. See, just hitting me with knowledge. I'm going to have to do some research on Darlington after the show's over today. Daniel
Lee says, Mia, we all know Rooney liked the granny.
Was there a rumor going about? Did I miss this? I feel like I missed this.
What? Wayne Rooney?
Yeah, did he bang an old lady or something?
He's been photographed in several newspapers at different times of life with a much older lady.
Hey, experience. You can't teach experience, So
whilst he was married.
Oh, well, that's not a great thing.
Allegedly, the photographs came out whilst he was married to Colleen. So, yeah.
Oh, there's all kinds of drama there too. Remember the I don't know but it was all like back pages, stupid shit, but about Jessica Vardy and somebody like leaking her stories to the press, her personal like.
No, Colleen Rooney's stories are being leaked. So what she did, I can't remember what she did it on Twitter or Instagram. Whatever she did, yeah, whatever she had, her stuff was being leaked to the papers. So what she ended up doing is Rooney the granny shagger for Mia.
Love it.
Yeah. And then you've got Rich has just come in. Hi,
What's
Rich.
up, Rich? Hey, how's it going?
You're right.
Good to see you, man.
So I think, where was I?
She Instagram.
Yeah, so she went to Instagram. What she did is she changed the
privacy settings or something.
The connections privacy settings. So she could tell stories to different people at different times, and then what she did is she watched which one went to the press. And then from that, there's only one person that would have known that story because there's only one person allowed to see that story. And she did it on permissions to loads of different people to try and catch out the culprit. And the story went out, and the only person that could see that story was
Rebecca Vardy.
So that went to court, and I believe Colleen Rooney won.
Wow.
She won in court.
Interesting. See, there's always a lot of wives and girlfriends drama in football. I love it.
Apparently, in Barrow nightclubs back in the day for Rooney.
What's Barrow?
Barrow is a place in the country.
Okay, gotcha.
In Barrow, and Rich says, I remember Kane hired his own personal physio and avoided injury for a long time after that.
It's a good point.
This is where we're going about the medical things and that.
Yeah. You would think teams would know this and would hire, better physios. I mean, if that was the issue, teams have the cash. I mean, they're definitely not strapped for cash. They don't have to go and get guys like straight out of college. I mean, they could. I don't know. That's an interesting one.
Mia's on fire. Look, Rooney used to love the bingo halls. He got good numbers there. Mia's on fire.
She's slaying him right now. Rooney, if you're seeing this, we're sorry, but it's Mia.
Now, Mia, watch out. I'd say, watch out, everyone. Mia's on the loose, man.
She is. And we got to talk. Mia, we want to do a Patreon members show. So we need to find out what day and time would be best for you. Hopefully Tuesdays work. We'll talk, but we would love to get you on for a Patreon members show.
And what we were thinking is possibly that with the Patreon members, they could be on the screen and me and Colin would be in the background and maybe not get involved and maybe just ask questions or whatever and just let the show be run by the Patreon members because you're the ones that support the channel. So perfect place for Rooney is a bingo hall spot on.
Love it. Yeah, he could probably do pretty well there, like me was saying. I think maybe it's because he's always looked so old. Like, he's always looked a good 10 years older than he is. Maybe that's why he picks up the older ladies so well, is because they remind him of people their age. He just definitely doesn't look good. Did Rooney smoke? Was Rooney a smoker?
Mate, do you know what? I watched a video the other day. Not a video, but I watched a reel. So they must have been showing. I'll tell you what, it's Bobby Charlton. On Sky, they had a Bobby Charlton memorial for an hour about Bobby Charlton. And they videoed him in a dressing room or after a game or something like that. And his brother Jackie was in the background smoking. I think it was after they won the World Cup. And they were all out. They were all there after they won the World Cup. And he was in the background, Jackie Charlton smoking. So, and there's a lot of people that smoked. We had them at our club as well. Our dealers used to smoke. In the change.
Yeah, well, Berbatov definitely smoked. That's like without a doubt.
So you got only out is that saying. I remember a rumor that Katie Price and Victoria Beckham had a punch up at a Man United Christmas party.
I would have wanted to see that.
Darlington FC once beat Chelsea 4-1 at the old Feetham's ground, Darlington's old ground, in the FA Cup in 1958. Attack was 15.
Attendance
was 15k plus. It's on Google Memories.
I'll definitely have to check that out.
Then you've got all
Darlington's going to be on my second team.
Got all the artists coming in. Rooney was a smoker. Daniel East saying Rooney did smoke. Ian Barron, Wayne Rooney works in a nursing home.
I haven't seen much of him lately. He could be wheeling the medicine trays down the hall and taking care of the ladies.
All the artisan says that he's probably still smoking.
I bet he is now. No reason not to, right?
Mia's come in and said, no, he's genetically blessed, lol. It's okay. The grannies don't have a good eyesight due to the cataracts. Audio artisan say, Ginola and Gaza were big smokers.
I could see Gaza with a ciggy in his mouth.
Matt Daniel says Marco Verratti, who plays for PSG, is a heavy smoker. Is Verratti still at PSG or has he gone to Saudi now? But I understand. I know he is. And then NA Beer Talk. Hello, NA. You're right. Yo. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hey, fellas, drop the like for you. That's much appreciated.
We love it. We appreciate you big time, man. We're just talking a bunch of shit right now, but we're glad to have you here. The topics at hand have been Wayne Rooney and his love for grannies. We've been talking about physio teams and how some teams seem very blessed in that category, whereas other teams, Spurs, don't seem so blessed. And then we were talking about the fact that Wayne Rooney and Ronaldo are the same age, and trying to make sense of that.
And their bodies and the body transformation for Ronaldo, along with the body transformation for Bryson DeChambeau, and how I even think
Bale. I even think Bale as well.
Verratti went to Saudi in summer. Right, Beer Talk. Which is your intro, mate? Tell us what the intro that you've missed, and we'll do it for you. What's the intro?
Is it the James Madison intro, or is it
the Keeper
West Ham? And if he's missed the intro for Keeper West Ham, then he's definitely missed the options. So I think we're gonna have to play that for him, and we're going to have to throw this week's or today's options back up. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Go on, Beer Talk. This is all for you, Paddy.
There you go, bub.
It's the Keeper West Ham.
That settles it. I'm going back to just the mustache after today. That was a good look. That was a good look for me. A good time. But yeah. There you are, my friend. And to this week we're doing some different stuff. Different than the normal Keeper West Ham, as you probably saw yesterday. But we've got a keep, bench, or West Ham on this one. And here are our options this week. We've got Berbatov, Defoe, and Keane. Obviously,
who would you keep? Who would you keep? The reasons why. Who would you bench? The reasons why. And who would you just send to West Ham? The reasons why.
Yeah,
to make it easy for us.
Mr.
We've
already made
our decisions. But we've got Mia and Beer Talk. We didn't have a go, and they're both here at the moment. So
lovely.
Audio's here. If he's still here, then he can have his go as well because he hasn't had a go. Ian Barrett, if he's here, can still have a go as well.
Yeah, we got 15 watching right now. It was only like 10. Whatever.
If Rich is still here, then Rich can have a go as well. Everyone else has had a go.
Everybody is so happy. Yep. Oh my God. Yes, Daniel. Yes. I've looked it up. You're correct. I see it. I do truly see it now.
Only after Mira said it. Mira said it in the comment before.
Exactly. And then, we want the Madison song. We'll have the Madison song. Don't worry. We'll get that in here. I promise. But yeah, Beer Talk. Very happy with the intro. I'm so glad you guys love it as much as me.
Right, Mia's gone for keep Berber. What a player. Bench Defoe, love him. And send Keane to West Ham, sorry.
Love it. Yeah. See, for me, it was down to Burbs or Defoe for keep. I knew I wanted to keep one of them. I've seen more of Defoe play. I think he would be better in this system. But I don't know. I mean, Berbatov definitely wouldn't miss the chances that we're missing. I think we created like 9 chances against Fulham. I know Berbatov would have put away some of the ones that we weren't able to. But Yeah, beer talk. I'm honestly up on the air on these. Yeah, it's a tough one. This one was another one that was created by our man Jose here, just for the sole purpose of making it difficult for you guys. I think.
But you've got to give it a beer talk. You've got to give us an answer. We have an answer from Audio Artisan. He says keep Defoe for Ange's system, bench Keane for his skill off the bench, and sell Berber for the bad taste he left.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one a lot.
And so beer talk has come back in with keep Defoe, bench Berbatov, and West Ham Keane. That's tough. So basically, what we turned around and said, guys, is that we've given you an open-ended question. We've just said to you merely, who would you keep, who would you bench, and who would you send to West Ham? However, if we haven't quantified the question, it's an open-ended question, because when I was asked by Colin, he interrogated me, and he said to me, what would I do and what wouldn't I do? I said to him, well, I could give you 4 different answers on 4 different permutations. I'd give you one answer on the loyalty, and so my 3 would be in a certain order for loyalty. If it was down to goals alone, then I'd be giving you a different answer. If it were down to who fits the Ange system, I'd probably give you a different answer. And then if it came down to skill levels, I'll probably give you a different answer again. So it's up to everyone what they say and for their reasons as to why and why not, because it's an open-ended question. We put no stipulations on it. But you've got Dry Roasted Peanut coming in with keep Berber, bench Keane, sell Defoe. And then you've got Ellie that's coming straight after that with
keep Berbatov, bench Defoe,
Keane to West Ham. Like I said, it's an open-ended question, so people are going to come up with different reasons as to why and why not, and it'll be their own reasons. However, if I change that, and I said to those that are watching now, right, the same 3 players again, right, and thinking about an Ange Postecoglou system, who'd you keep, who'd you bench, and who'd you get rid of? If it's an Ange Postecoglou system that we're looking at. So
that's definitely going to change some answers for sure.
Yeah, nothing on your previous, but if we're looking at Ange's system, how are we doing this? Who are we keeping? What are we doing?
Did you notice that I put them at White Hart Lane too? I put them at the proper ground. Sadly, never got to make it to White Hart Lane. That still hurts my soul. But I did get to step on that lovely piece of ground at the new stadium, which was made up of the old stadium. So I feel like I've kind of been there in a sense.
So the Dry Roasted Peanuts come back in with, I take it as you've offered them in their prime. So therefore, that's the way he's answered. And that's what I said. It's an open-ended question how people are going to answer it. But now if we're looking at just Ange alone, if this was an Ange system to play now in the Ange system, how would you do it? And for that, you've come in with Berber, Defoe to bench, and Keane to go to West Ham.
Look at me as next response. I ain't got time for all these different answers. I said what I said. Okay.
That was open-ended. Well done, Mia. But we're just now asking if people can tell us what they would pick for an Ange system. And
I like Dry Roast Peanuts got an answer that I wasn't quite expecting. You know what I mean? I think of this team as a team that runs quite a bit, and we create errors. The 2 goals we scored against Fulham was them trying to play out from the back and our press kind of messing that up, I think. And I don't know if Berbatov contributes much to that press, but at the same time, he is so skilled and talented in other ways. I can see him kind of making up for that.
You've got Ellie saying Berbatov. I love the most Berbatov. I love the most talented forward with the most sublime touch. Beer Talk saying that he would still keep the same answer. And Mia says that she would keep the same answer. My answer changes if I'm looking for the Ange system, although my answer in the end was just the Ange system. I didn't look at anything further than that. I said I'd keep Defoe because a number 9 is what we need. And he's a box person, and that's what you need is a 9. So I'd keep Defoe. I'd bench Keane because Keane to me is a player in between a forward and a midfielder and actually moves about a bit like what Colin said. And Berbatov, either he's going to play. For me, Berbatov would be more suited, but he's not quick enough. Would be more suited to a Maddison role, to a 10 and not a 9, basically. So for me, I would keep Defoe because I think he fits the Ainge system. I think Keane can do a couple of jobs in the Ainge system, so I'd bench him. And I think there's only one job that Berber could possibly do in the Ainge system, because we all know that Berber's got it all up in his head. He wasn't the fastest of footballers, wasn't the paciest. He had it all in his head, didn't he? So yeah, I'd keep, same as Audio Artisan has gone for it as well. Keep Defoe, bench Kane, and sell Berber, same as before.
I like this one too. Daniel E was talking about, asking me if she would go for Defoe over Keane, and she said, yeah, you got a load of goals for us. Imagine him in Matters. Absolutely. The through balls that Madison could play to Defoe would be outrageous. He would score so many goals for this team.
Beer Talk was coming with JD would be great. Keane and Berber kind of on my shit list.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Keane came back.
Yeah.
So, but I get it.
Well, it's funny. Sure. It's funny because we've had a history of this with forwards, haven't we, at the club, where we've gone back in for a second time.
Yeah, so, a lot of that seemed like it was Harry Redknapp just trying to get the band back together again.
Yeah, because Defoe's played twice for the club, Keane's played twice for the club, Sheringham played twice for the club, Klinsmann played twice for the club. So it's different era. Two players did it a different era, and the two players now have done it in a different era. So you've got Daniel Lee coming me. Yeah, I agreed Defoe with Madders would be great. Keane would also, though, as well. They both used to like playing on the shoulder. Either of them would thrive with Madders.
Agreed. And
then Mia's turned around and said, also, I think Defoe's overall attitude suits Ainge more. He is a good egg. We've got Beer Talk saying, true, Keane is just kind of miserable. Hard man Keane. Might not be great with the immaculate vibes we have going on. And then we've got Ian coming in. My stepdad, Stephen Holbrook, played for Darlington FC in the early 70s in the FA Cup at Upton Park in the days of Frank Lampard Sr. for West Ham, etc. Yeah, I remember.
Dang, that's awesome, man. We're getting this. Usually Adrian is our resident historian, but we're getting some cool history from you as well.
We're getting some more audio artisans coming. Mickey Hazard played for Tottenham twice as well. Ooh. And we've also got Dry Roast Peanut saying Kabul played twice for us as well.
Wow, I wasn't aware of that. I don't know how I missed that one, but yeah, I've never noticed.
Ellie's agreeing that she believes that Defoe would be the one that most fits Ainge ball as well. So
definitely, which leads me to a question I wanted to ask. We're getting pretty late into the show, but say that you're Audio Artisans got another one though. Peter Crouch.
We sold him as a youth product, and we bought him back as a player under Redknapp, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. Harry read that. That's just what he does, I think. I don't think his scouting network must be huge. He's like, hold on, I know this handful of players. Let's go with them.
I wonder if Kane will be the next to come back. Would you have him?
Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you?
Well, do you know what? People said, it don't fit an Ainge system. Well, I'll tell you what, it fucking would. Yeah, cool. Yeah. If you stick Kane as your number 9, and you feed Kane the ball in and around that box, Kane's scoring hatfuls. We can see what Sonny's done. And let's not make no bones about it. Kane is a prolific goal scorer given chances. He's a prolific goal scorer. He scored 30 goals last year. He's a prolific goal scorer. So given chances, he would fit the system and he would score. Whether he's the next person to come back or not, I don't know.
I think that... Well, you know how I was talking. I keep harping on about how we created so many chances and finished so few. Kane would definitely help us in that regard. We're creating chances, but we're not really putting chances away at the rate in which I think we should. Kane would absolutely fix that for us, 100%.
We've created the most chances. Sorry, before we dry roast peanut. It's interesting. Loyalty is the most important thing for most. Me is saying no, I wouldn't. This is about Kane. No, I wouldn't. He don't make us a team. He makes us Kane FC. And Beer Talk, he would fit any system. I just feel misled by him. I would have bet my house that he wouldn't have left.
Yeah,
that's
true.
A fair comment. With Tottenham, I think the stats think, unless they changed it to Fulham, that Tottenham have created the most goal scoring chances, right? And I know that Cole, you just said that we need someone to put them away, and I understand you saying that. But then when I look at the top goal scorers in the league, Haaland has 9, Son has 7.
It's true.
So we are scoring goals. Maybe, we are scoring goals. We're creating chances. We are scoring goals, but maybe not to the ratio that we should be, but we are scoring goals. So
yeah, 100%. I just noticed in that game in particular, there were like 3 times where we got into great shooting positions, and either Kulu held onto the ball for a second too long, or you know what I mean. We almost crowded ourselves out in the box. It was interesting. We were playing so attacking and so attacking minded. I almost feel like we had too many players in the box, and they were literally getting in each other's way.
So without looking, I'm going to quick fire questions at you without looking. Who scored the most goals in the Premier League this season?
This season?
What team?
Oh, City?
No.
Okay. Tottenham.
No.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
The team with 24 goals is Newcastle. Rich has got it. It's Newcastle. Second top goal scorers, Aston Villa with 23. Third top goal scorers, Brighton with 22. And then fourth, you've got joint Tottenham and Liverpool with 20. Then you have Man City with 19. The Scum have 18. West Ham then have 16. And then the drop-off after that is 14 to Brentford, 13 Chelsea, and then you've got Man United and Wolves with 11. And then you've got Forest with 10, and then that leaves people in single figures are Sheffield, Bournemouth, Burnley, Luton, Everton, Fulham, and Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace are the second lowest goal scorers in the league. Second. They've only scored 7 goals in 9 games, and that's who we're playing next. So when you're looking at the goals stats and that, Sonny's got 7 goals, and you've got Man City. You've got Haaland's got 9. Yet we scored more than Man City by 1 goal.
I do like the fact that this season the goals seem to be spread out a little more. I think we all expected that with Kane leaving, but I'm glad it's working out that way. It's nice to have options. It's nice to have goal threats that can kind of, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but stick 2 people on Kane, he's going to have a hard time. But with this new system, that leaves somebody else open and attacking.
Who's got the best defensive system? Who's got the best defensive record in the league?
I keep wanting to just say City.
City have only conceded 7 goals in 9 games.
Gotcha.
Second is Tottenham and Arsenal with 8 goals each. Then third, you've got Liverpool, Newcastle, and Chelsea with 9 goals conceded each. And then every other team in the league is in double figures. So in single figures, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 clubs that are in single figures. Everyone else in the league is already on double figures after 9 games. So when you look at it like that, it's positive.
Absolutely. And me even says that unexpected goals are lower on the table. So we've been clinical. That's a good point.
So she just put out. There we go. What does she put out? Am I showing you?
Oh,
there we go.
I keep doing it. Sorry, we're both clicking.
On XG, we are lower on the table, so we have been clinical. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. We got Rakesh in the house. Hi, Rakesh.
Rakesh, what's up? Good to have you here, man.
Did we say hello to Bobby K?
We didn't.
Okay. Bobby K. Hello, Bobby K. As well.
Big love, Bobby.
Just joined us. Hello, both of you.
Hello.
What does you've got? Danny, I'm not a fan of bringing players back, especially when they get sold when they're 30. But Kane is too great of a striker to ever say it can't ever come back to us. I agree, though. We need to move on. And Ellie's saying Haaland nearly scored half of Man City's goals are more spread out, which is a trait of Ange's teams. Yep, correct, Ellie. Correct.
100%. 100%. I like this comment from Mia, and we could maybe work this into the Patreon show, because I'd love to debate you guys about Kane. I'm not sure exactly in what way or about what, but we would love that as well, Mia. And you're definitely invited. That would be great. We need to get that on the Patreon show. What exactly about Kane would you like to debate us on? I know that you were saying that you knew all summer he was going to leave, whereas other people in the chat were saying, they'd bet their house that he was going to stay. Is that what you're referring to? You've piqued my curiosity a bit here, Mia. So,
is that good or bad?
Right, exactly. But about us being better with him and him coming back. Okay, yeah.
No. I'll repeat what I said to make it clear. I said that people said that he wouldn't score goals in an Ange system, and I'm saying that he would definitely have scored goals in an Ange system because of the way that the system is played. Anybody who's being set up by Maddison is going to score goals. And it just happens that it's sunny at the moment. Had Kane stayed, Kane would have scored hatfuls of goals. I don't subscribe to when people say he wouldn't have scored goals under this system. I think he would have done. And I think that when we played, who was the friendly we played where he scored 4 goals? Was it Shakhtar the next pre-season?
I think so.
And he scored 4 goals. At the end of the day, if that's not telling you that he wouldn't score for us, then, I think people have got mud in their eyes. He would always score in an Ange system if he played for us. But yeah, I agree with a lot of people and I'm one of them as well, that without Kane, others are able to flourish. And when I say others, I'm talking about a whole team. So, and our goals do come from all over the pitch. It is everybody that's sharing the goals. But yeah.
Richie says that he heard that they all knew Kane was leaving at the beginning of the summer, and if that was the case, he thinks the succession planning was poor.
There's 2 ways of looking at this for me, right? Postecoglou has said that from the first conversation he had, he knew that he was going. And I used to say on the podcast when this was all going on at the time, I said at the time to anyone that would listen to me, the decision's already been made. Whether he's staying or going, Kane knows. Postecoglou knows, the club knows. It's already been decided. They all know what's going on, just that we're not privy to that and they're not going to tell us. If we go on what Postecoglou has said in his interviews, have we got any reason to doubt what Postecoglou says to us? Because Postecoglou clearly said he knew first conversation that Kane wasn't going to stay, and that he wasn't about to try and convince Kane to stay in that, because he said it's more about the team. So he wasn't trying to convince Kane to stay, but that he knew that Kane was going, right? So then he said that what he did in training is that he had trained with Kane and he trained without Kane. When it comes down to buying players, Ange clearly says to us that the decisions on what players come in are solely his decisions, and he'll only sign off on the players that he wants. And he made it clear when we were all touting Gift Orban and all stuff like that to replace Kane and bring in the number 9 that we were all talking about, he wanted Brennan Johnson. And he made it clear that Brennan Johnson's who he wanted. So at the end of the day, losing Kane, and then Postecoglou says, well, we can go without Kane. We can go with Brennan Johnson's going to suit my style better. Then, that's on Ange Postecoglou. So, but they all knew, and this is what I'm trying to say. I said at the time, they all knew what was going on, just that we weren't privy to it. And in his first interview, when Kane left, Postecoglou said exactly what I've been saying all throughout the summer. Yeah.
And we also have to think about, too, what strikers were on the market, what strikers were available, what price were they available for. I didn't see this summer as being one where there was a load of talent available. Who's the chap that I can't even pronounce his name that United got?
Rasmus Højlund. Listen, let me tell you about Højlund. He will score goals. You give him the ball, you set him up, Højlund scoring your goals. The only thing that Man United have got at the moment is that they've got greedy fucking players who are not playing for the team. So when they've got players like Anthony and Rashford ain't setting Højlund up. Anthony and Rashford are cutting inside because they're playing inverted. They're cutting inside and they're popping off shots themselves. They're not passing it through to Højlund. If they start passing it through to Højlund, that boy will score goals, man. I've seen enough of him. The guy's rapid. He will score goals. But you've got to set him up. You've got to play him in for them goals and not keep him taking pop shots, which is what their players are doing at the moment. They're not playing as a team. And the one thing I will say, although I'm saying this, I'm trying to defend Højlund here. Long may it continue. The more that Man United fall behind us, the better off that we're going to be anyway. But if they got their act together and started feeding the boy will score goals. He to me, he's a goal scorer, and he can score. It's just that they're not feeding him.
Interesting analysis because I haven't watched enough of them play. But yeah, I mean, like you said, long may it continue. I really hope that he never finds form and
it's not him. It's not him. It's the players around him, Colin. They're the ones that are not passing the ball to him. They're the ones that keep taking pop shots and stuff like that and trying to make themselves look good. They're not playing as a team. So because of that, Højlund doesn't get the goals. So long may it continue for that. But if you feed Højlund will score goals because he can. He's speedy. He's 2-footed. He can score goals, but you've got to feed him the ball.
Daniel is agreeing with you here as well. Give him service. He scores goals. He's that sort of striker. You can tell. Yeah.
Who we got? Have we missed some here? We got this one up here. Dry roasted peanut. Who will get more goals? Our two centre backs or Richarlison?
It's a good one. That's a good one. Richarlison, I think, obviously. But I still have this weird belief that Richarlison's going to come good, which might be very delusional of me. But I did have some images I wanted to throw up. Right now might be the perfect time. But real quick, I agree. Jose Kane scores in the system. You see how many more touches we're having in the box now under Ange, a lot more. Kane's a striker. He wants touches in the box. He would smash goals for fun.
And then Beer Talks come in with apparently Richie's fantastic in training. That's all Ange had to go on. He probably felt Richie could do a job. And then we've got the Højlund one, and we've now caught up with the chat. So sorry, go on, Colin.
No, you're good. You're good. You didn't think these were great comparisons because of the players and the positions they played in, but I found this online where people were saying let me get these banners out of the way real quick. Hide that one. Comments. Hide that one. Oh man, more banners and hide this one. Okay, so it's saying, is Richarlison as bad as we think he is? And it's got him, compared to some other players here. We've got Rasmus Højlund, 6 appearances, 0 goals, 0 assists. We've got him versus Martinelli.
See, this is a comparison that you can look at because they both play in the same position. Mm-hmm. So Richie at the moment is playing out on the left. So you can marry up Richarlison with Martinelli. That's a fair assessment. I think to marry him up against Højlund is not a fair assessment because Højlund's playing down the middle. Richarlison isn't. Yeah, so that's when you showed me earlier, I said, well, this is a fair assessment. There might be others, but the fair assessment wouldn't be these two are playing in the same positions as well.
Yeah, and I mean, if you look at it, Richarlison's got the higher assist tally. Goals are the same. I mean, so all these players are underperforming. I think that goes without saying. And then we've got, and then you said this one wasn't really a fair assessment either, as Gabriel Jesus.
Okay, he played on the left the other day, right? But I reckon that most of his appearances have been down the middle as a false 9 or down the middle, however you want to call it, because they're playing him on the left and then putting Nketiah down through the middle. But I think he's probably played down the middle more times than he's played on the left. So, but regardless of that, they're both Brazilian players, or one of them's definitely a Brazilian player.
Yeah, we all know who you're talking about here. I think
the other one we need to check his passport.
We can do. Maybe they should. But yeah, I just wanted to say I don't think Richarlison's quite as bad as everybody thinks. We saw in the Fulham match he got the assist for Sonny's goal. He's just not a terrible player. Could championship top scorer 8 goals Jack Clark be the next player for a second stint at Spurs? He's playing off the left wing. No, that and then a laughing, crying face. But yeah, I almost forgot that Jack Clark was here. That's an interesting. That's an interesting one.
Okay, so the deal is, right, if we were to do that, you'd have to put a bid in for him, and you'd have to pay a lot more money than what we sold him to Sunderland for. The only player that we've got a deal on was on Edwards. The left back. No, the left back we sold to Sunderland. I had a Turkish sounding name.
I honestly can't remember. Hold on.
It began with C, surname Chelik or something like that. It began with C, I think. Chelik, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the left back we sold to Sunderland. Sirkin, that's it, Sirkin. So Sirkin was the one that was touted by what's his name? The fella. Mourinho touted Sirkin as a potential first team player when he was playing, when Mourinho was there. But Sirkin's been sold on. But I think with Sirkin, we've got some sort of clauses in the deal with Sirkin. So if you bought him back, then you would. There's already a deal that can be struck in place there. With Jack Clark, if Jack Clark was to come back and we deemed him a player that we wanted and brought him back to the club, it'd be a whole new process of. It's like bidding for any player because we've got no hold on anything at all with him.
Dry Roast Peanut says that he thinks we got a 50% sell in the deal apparently.
Well, so if we have, then my information is completely incorrect because I was led to believe the only player that we have any clause with is Sirkin.
Well, and Marcus Rashford too, though, right? Like not Marcus Rashford, Marcus Edwards. Jesus Christ! But
yeah, I don't know whether did we not during the deal for Porro. Did we not let some of that go?
I think you actually have a great point there.
I think they may have dropped the percentage. It might have been 50% away, but I think they may have dropped the percentage. That might have been part of swinging the Porro deal in January last year.
I think you actually have a great point there. I think you were correct. Now that I think about that a little harder.
But then the call from audio is saying that Ange wanted Jack Clark as third. Well, if that's the case, and Ange thinks that he can do a job for us, then yeah, all well and good. At the end of the day, I'm all in with anything Ange wants to do. So win, lose, draw, I'm all in with Ange. Whatever Ange says, whatever Ange does, I'm all in. I'm not going to bite and pick holes in him if we were to lose a game, we were to draw a game. I'm not going to do all that. At the end of the day, I'm all in with Ange. So if Ange thinks he's good enough, then that's fine by me.
Yeah, I 100% agree. We have no reason not to trust this guy. He's showed over and over again that he is capable, that he knows what he's doing, that his system works. Dry Roast Peanut says you're right. I think that's regarding the Jack Clark situation.
Beer talks coming. Speaking of Porro, what a player's turned out to be. It's correct. He is a very, very good player.
Absolutely, defensively as well, which we all kind of thought that he would lack in that area, but not the case.
It goes to show. I mean, if you're looking, it's night and day, isn't it, Colin? If we're looking at, are we going to call these people managers or are we going to call them coaches? What are we going to call these people? Because at the end of the day, you have managers who manage, and you have coaches who coach. So what are we calling these people that pick the teams? Are they managers? Are they coaches? What are they? Because Conte, and I'm going to have to be brutally honest, did I see Mourinho improve any of our players? Did I see Nuno improve any of our players? Did I see Conte improve any of our players? I'll go back to Pochettino before him. Did I see Pochettino improve players?
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Now, if you're using players that were in the squad or in and around the squad last season, and they're still with you now, and they're playing night and day, they're playing totally different, and they're playing a different game of football now to what they were last year, then that's got to come down to the coaching. The coaching, and they're coaching them on the pitch. Yeah, so the coach, okay, so now this is where I'm going, Beatle. Are we calling Postecoglou a coach, a manager, or are we calling him both? Because with Conte, by your analogy, Conte was a manager because he chose a form of strategy. Conte didn't coach the players because he didn't improve the players. But Postecoglou's done both, and this is how it's important. Whereby you watch the Tottenham players now. So we can all be cynical. We can go back and we can turn around and say, let's say for the argument for Bossuma, the boss was never picked by Conte, and when Conte weren't picking him in very early press conferences, Conte kept saying when he was asked the question by Ali Gold and all the other reporters, he kept saying all the time, yeah, the thing is he's got to learn our system. He hasn't learnt the way we play yet. He's got to learn a few things before I put him in the team. Learn what? The guy was outstanding at Brighton, hence why we bought him. And now, like I keep saying, all the Brighton people that I play football with, because I live down on the coast and Brighton's the nearest club to, Premiership club, and they all play with me and they all turn around and say to me that we have got a better version of Boss than what they had at Brighton. So it's got to come down to the training. To the coaching, surely. Pap Sarr, he's turned into some player. He's being coached. You know, you look at Porro, the way he plays, it's the coaching. When the person that I think will surprise people will be the GOAT, Emerson. Emerson is being coached by Postecoglou. He may be not starting at the moment, but possibly he must be learning of Postecoglou's coaching. Must be. You know, you got the list continues. You've got all these players and all the positive stuff they're talking about. It's got to be the coaching that he's done. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be the coaching that he's done. And the coaching the coaching has improved players no end. The proof's there. And the last person to do this was Potts. Potts improved players. He coached players and he improved players as well. But then
would you say Mourinho? Would you say Mourinho made Sonny better?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Sonny definitely scored more goals, but he was placed in a position where, I mean, he was our main outlet.
Sonny and Kane made Mourinho look good.
Yeah, I could see it.
Sonny and Kane made Mourinho look good. And you've got to remember, and I'll go back to this because Conte said it. I've got no reason to doubt it, right? Mourinho was our manager during the COVID periods. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
During the COVID
the pressure.
Period,
no pressure.
There was no pressure at all during the COVID period because you had no fans. There was no demands from fans because fans couldn't come to the stadium. So if you're having a stinker, you haven't got the fans on your back. They're not ripping into you. You're not having a go at you. You know, you're not getting all that. You had none of that during the Mourinho tenure because we were under COVID. So everything was being played behind closed doors. With the groundsman being there, and he was the only person allowed there. Do you know what I mean? And everyone else, if you were in the stands, you had to be 200 feet away from each other. So there was no pressure on any of them at all. So to me, that's a non-entity.
That's a good point. Gyros Peanut, real quick. I just want to say he's calling Postecoglou a genius. Love it.
Agree.
And then this comment by Rich I thought was pretty good too. Basuma seems like a creative player who plays with freedom. Conte was all about repetition and automatisms. I don't blame Conte. I just don't think Basuma suited his style at all. So do you think then that Basuma was a Daniel Levy purchase then and not a purchase for the manager? And I'll ask you that same question, Jose. Do you think
they were all bought? All the players were not bought by Levy. All the players were bought by fucking Paratici. I'm not getting mincing my words. Paratici, anyone that we've had play for us for the last 2.5 years have been bought in by Paratici. And overall, in general, Paratici has done a really good job on the players that he's brought in. Look at the good, the bad, and the ugly. Look at it all in its big piece. And in the big piece, you look at his work. In the main, his work has been positive. It's been good. And it's improved our squad to where it was 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so guys, I have to work in 19 minutes. So I wanted to ask everybody a question. If you could sign one player in January, and we'll be realistic and say, no Hollins, no, we're talking like the tier below best player in the world.
No, it doesn't have to be below best player. How much money are you offering the people to spend?
80 million.
Okay, so you've got 80 million to spend on bringing a player in of your choice. But obviously the player's got to want to come to Tottenham as well. But if you had 80 million to spend, what player would you bring in the...
And it can be in any position. Where do you think we need
the transfer window? Are we talking about any transfer window?
The January transfer window.
Okay, if you've got 80 million to spend on a player in the transfer window in January, who are you bringing into Tottenham?
Yeah, it's a tough one because I mean there's obviously a couple of different schools of thought here. We could talk about how the defense is kind of light. We're kind of light in the defensive areas. especially at left back. Then you also have to think about
has Spurs coming in that he would buy Hincapié.
He plays in Germany, yeah.
Yeah, so you've got 80 million you're bringing in Hincapié, okay?
It's a good choice.
I think we're getting a lot less than 80 million, but that's fine. That's good. We got one there. Because what we're interested in is seeing who you bring in, people. We're interested, because then that'll give us some sort of an opinion of where you think we're light or where we think we need the players.
Absolutely.
Daniel Lee, I'm glad Basuma was not a Conte signing, because if it was all Conte's choice, Basuma wouldn't even be at this football club. Adrian has come in Hincapié again, left-footed centre-back.
Okay.
So you've got 80 million to spend, and you can spend that in the winter transfer window. What player are you bringing in? I won't tell you my answer, because I haven't thought about it. But off the top of my head, I said something to Colin when he asked me this when we were preparing the show. But I'm not going to say what I said yet. I want to see what the chat have got to say.
I weirdly, and I'm gonna just go this direction real quick. I'm kind of thinking that we maybe are more in need of a forward player who can finish and put away some of these chances that we're creating. I know that we're light in defense, but I think that unless both of our starting center backs get hurt at the same time, which I guess is definitely possible, I don't know. I think we could cope without one of them. I don't know if you agree. The dogs don't agree. The dogs do not think that we can cope without one of these center backs. But I don't know.
Hasper said Hincapié can also play left back.
There you go. And I think, and to be honest, I think that Van der Ven could too. I think he's got the pace to play left back. I'm not sure if he's played there much in his career, so I'm not sure how much experience he has.
So you've only got only two people in the chat responding, and I both said Hincapié. So we'll ask once more, because Colin has to dive away and get to work. So it's, if you've got 80 million to spend, right, and you can spend it in the winter transfer window, who would you bring in for Tottenham? And bringing them in, it's got to be a player that you think will come. Whilst, if anyone else is going to answer that, Colin, who's your choice? Where are you going with 80 million?
I'm going to go. You're going to think I'm absolutely ridiculous. But I think that I think Sancho's available. And I think he could actually be a good player under Postecoglou. I really do. I think that we just need more players that are capable of scoring goals. Right now we've got Son. We don't really have a goal threat in Kulu. I love Kulu. I'll defend Kulu all day. He's got a role, but he's not a goal scorer. I think we need more players that are capable of putting the ball in the back of the net. And I think that he's gettable, and I think that under the right coach, he could be a good player. He kind of reminds me of what was the bald dude that he had at Celtic?
Tate?
Maida? Was it Maida?
Mazeda, yeah, Maida, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of him. I don't know. But again, I think it's up top where we need the help. But I could definitely see most people disagreeing with that. I do know that we're light at the back, but I think we brought in Ashley Phillips for a reason. I think that we pushed for that. We made sure we got that transfer done, even when it looked a little bit like it might not happen. We made sure that it did. And I think that there's got to be some trust in him there, or we wouldn't have pushed so hard for that.
You've got Mia coming in with the dogs are correct, and Minnie is barking, so she also agrees.
All right.
You've got Adrian coming in with Bramer as an option for less than 80 million, probably 45 to 50. So that's another centre back.
Yeah.
And Mia's saying centre backs are a priority, and then I'd get a good backup for Madders.
That's a great one right there too.
Daniel E has answered the question the same way I did before the show. I turned around and said, 80 million on one player, I'd split it on 3 players if I had 80 million, but I didn't say who the 3 were. He said, how much we got? 80 million, I can do business with that. 15 million for Tosin, 20 million for Icardi, and Neto for 45 million.
Daniel E is on the Icardi train hard, but I like it. I like it.
And then you've got back up audio artisan saying Danny Olmo. Danny Olmo is an absolutely brilliant footballer.
I forgot he existed. Nice.
No, Dani Olmo,
nice.
Spanish international, he's a young boy. He's a superb player. He plays for Leipzig or someone like that. He's excellent player. Ellie is saying that she should go for Matoma.
Forward player, love it.
I like Matoma.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hasbro, they are looking at Jota, who used to play with Solid.
Yeah, the guy came from the Saudi league or went to the Saudi league for a season or whatnot, and is coming back. It looks like.
Then Mia's coming in, but we haven't seen enough of Johnson, and we also have Veliz. Adrian's coming. Our priorities must be left centre back, and left back. If Ange can't get a tune out of Sessegnon.
It's a good point as well.
And then Ellie's saying, I like Evan Ferguson too. I do as well.
Who doesn't like?
I don't think 80 million gets us Evan Ferguson, to be honest. Not at the moment, not the way Brighton want money through. Rich is saying, don't have a name for you, but I think Perisic is a big loss. A winger that can actually cross a ball unlocks Richie with his aerial ability too. Yeah.
Agreed completely. I think Richie is suffering the most with Perisic being out for sure.
We've got Jota in for beer talk. A winger and a backup centre back for Rich.
So do everyone that's saying backup center back, do you guys not think that Ashley Phillips is just like not ready? Do you think that he's somebody for the future? I just think that we're going to see Ash Phillips this season.
I think people are more talking about a left-sided centre half, a left-footed centre half rather than a right-footed. We seem to have lots of right-footed, but only one decent left-footed. I think that
they must be more common. They must be more common players. You know what I mean? Right-footed.
There's more right-footed people in the world than left-footed, and it's always been the case. So Daniel's coming with Icardi's biggest problem is his wife, not his goals. Adrian is also coming in with a possibility of Jota on loan. I'll come back, but you can only bring Jota in on loan if you get rid of a player from our squad, and we can't do that till the winter transfer window. So even if you tried to loan him now, you couldn't play. You couldn't add him to your squad because you've got 25 in the squad already. I think Cess will come round from Beer Talk. I'm getting Levy in to negotiate the deal. Mia, he can knock 20 mil off.
There you go. Love it.
Who else have we got? We've got anyone else? Yeah. We've got Beer Talk. We haven't seen Ash. We need another left back. Top Spurs. Jota on loan, option to buy. Tosin Adebayo, last 6 months of his contract. Trevor Chabala, last 6 months of the contract. And Artur Koglu, all for under 60 million. So he's bringing in 4 players with the 8.
Dang. All right.
Mia, hear me out. If we have a backup for VDV, because VDV can play left back as well.
I thought of that as well. Yeah,
very good point. More left-sided players. And Daniel Lee, Ashley Fritz has played 8 games in the Championship, playing as a central defender. In Premier, it's a different kettle of fish, mate. Which is a fair comment as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think we've come to the end of the show, people, because Carlin from Yal has to go to work.
I have to go to work right in this exact same spot, sitting in the same chair. But yeah, all you lucky people in England and have already got your work days finished and can relax and have a beer and have dinner. Happy for you guys. I'm happy for you guys. Wish me luck. I think the big outages we were dealing with at my work are over, so I should have less angry people calling me today. So that'll be great. The funny thing is, though, Colin, is that when I start my working day, you're still snoozing in bed, sleeping. So, I thought about that. I woke up at like 1 o'clock, and I was like,
You're now telling us, you're lucky you've finished your working day. Well, God, when I'm working in the morning, I'm thinking to myself, Carlin is asleep. So I started at 7 this morning. So that would make it 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock your time. And I'm thinking
1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, yeah.
So Carlin's asleep, and I'm working. So.
That's true. And I slept good last night, too. I went to bed at 9. And woke up at 8 a.m. I needed it.
11 hours, bang. That's a long time. God.
Yeah. I felt great today, though.
Fantastic.
Take on the world. Absolutely. Well, hey, I just wanted to say
thank you to everyone for being on. We've got a bye from Mia. Thank you. Take care, everyone, and big up to Colin and Jose. And we've got Bobby saying, have a great day, everyone. Listen, everyone, thank you for joining in. It's your comments that give us what we need to talk about and stuff, and we're really happy to have you on. We're back on tomorrow again at 4 o'clock GMT,
which
is
10 a.m. where I live.
And what is it in Oz? Because we've got the Oz time as well.
Oh, and the 2 a.m. for Australia.
For Australia. So wherever you are in the world, yeah, we're on again at the same time tomorrow. It'd be nice to see if you could join us. We're starting to get to know our people because you're regulars that come on. We're starting to get to know you, starting to get to know more about us as well. And it's a joy having to talk Tottenham with all you guys. It's absolutely brilliant. Thank you. Continue putting the stuff in the chat. It's much approved by us all.
Absolutely. And again, I just want to shout out to our lovely Patreon members. We've got Chris Peters, Wayne Bonner, Soji for God. We got Maria Williams. And that kind of rounds up our lovely Patreon members. Call, are you Central or Eastern? Central, but literally a half hour away from me is Eastern. It's really weird. I live in a weird spot. But yeah, Central time zone here. Half hour north, it is Eastern. I don't really understand why.
Should we let people into a little secret? Maria Williams is Mia, but just that her name comes up as Maria Williams. But it's our lovely Mia who's a Patreon.
Big love, Mia. We appreciate you more than you know.
And
I gotta do the lights.
And she can be found at Spurs Between the Lines, which I think Tot Spurs put the link up earlier.
Yes.
I think Tot Spurs, if you could also find the link for Soji for God, because he's on Come On Ye Spurs TV.
Find that.
So he's on Come on Ye Spurs TV, because if they're supporting us as Patreon members, we should support their channels as well. And
absolutely. Yeah.
I know that Tot Spurs did put Mia's channel up earlier as well.
Okay, so subscribe. This doesn't look like the right link. Let me know if this works for you guys in the chat. Click this real quick if you could. I know it looks messy, but that should take you to Saji's channel. Like I said, I know that looks ugly, but that should take you there. Let me know if it does not. Beer Talk says makes me think
it
of
does. Yeah, it takes you there. That's the channel.
Okay, lovely.
And I'm sure that you put Mia's up already.
I can get Mia's too, real quick.
Yeah, can do Spurs Between the Lines. I'm sure he's put it up there because I read it earlier.
Boom. Spurs Between the Lines.
These two people are Patreons of the channel and have their own channels as well. So please go over and support them. We do say in the community that we like to support each other, and it goes without saying, these two people, we will put your channels in from now on in future shows because you are Patreon members. So we will promote your channels whether you're on with us or not. So thank you very much to Mia and Soji, and also to Chris Peters and Wayne Bonner. Chris and Wayne have not joined us today. They were with us yesterday. They've not joined us.
I'm sure they'll be watching on repeat.
Yeah, for those people that weren't on yesterday and that weren't on last week, on Friday, if you join us Friday, we will do our predictions. We're running a league table at Tark and Ball for league predictions. Currently, Colin and Jose hold the relegation places, but we will be doing it again. So if you tune in for Friday's show, which is again at 4 p.m, same time as today, we will be doing the predictions. So, yeah, thank you very much, everyone. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks for being with us, and we wish you a pleasant evening.
Big love, everyone. And as always, come on, you Spurs.